Hey, what's up guys, my name is Azoh, and today we're going to take a look at if Zed can beat tanks in lane and his aggressive gameplay, and kind of how to properly play Zed aggressively. Now, this is not gonna be a very long video, but I'm gonna be able to run through the pointers that I want to talk about as quickly as possible. So basically here, you're using the passive on a shove quickly to get level 2 before Maokai. Maokai is normally it's a lane you're not supposed to be winning against, but if you play properly and if you get level 2 quickly, you can definitely do it. So Q, and always try to, when you last hit with Q, try to hit him as well on top of the last hit, because otherwise you're just wasting damage. It's damage that he can easily heal, but it's still damage. So here I get to it, and immediately I start moving up towards here, not attacking him because he can see my movements if I'm attacking him. He might not immediately realize that I am going to attack him, but I move aggressively up here and get attack E. And if you see my Z school, you do know that E does not take any animation at all. You can do it at any point while doing anything else. You can do a Q and you can E at the same time. You can auto attack and you can E at the same time. Won't interrupt the auto attack. It just happens immediately. It's completely free. So auto attack E and then Q for free Thunderlords and for a full damage Q, and of course just all of it. And every time he goes forward for an auto attack, every time he tries to do anything, he's still level 1. So every time just auto attacking, go aggressively immediately. Just rush level 2 and then play around your passive and Thunderlords. And above all, just auto attack E's. And every time he tries to go for healing or anything like that, you just want to punish the fuck out of him. Sorry, excuse my French. And here he's going to want to last it on the turret. We don't really want to let him do that, but there's not much we can do about it at this point. So the only thing we're trying to do is set him up so that he can't last it properly by getting it to around 70% HP, because then he can't do auto attack and then turret last it, or around 90% HP, because then he'll just auto attack after turret shot. Here get level 3. Now level 3 is dangerous in top lane because this is around the time, around 3 minutes, this is when you should be starting getting afraid of junglers. And if you don't know how to play around jungles, mainly if you have no idea what the jungler is, just take a look at your jungle as like a proximity. But here I do waste, it is painful to go ward this, but if I don't, it's very risky to play aggressively. So I've talked about this aggressive gameplay before. You can play super aggressively, but it's a big risk if you don't have a ward. So yes, you do lose pressure by going warding, because he does get time to both auto attack and get his passive on the minions, but also get free CS or get a build up to push back my wave and get control of the vision and get control of possibly the poking, or when he gets the last hit and such. So yeah, it's a risk, or it's a waste of time. You lose pressure. You know, it's not a waste of time, but you lose pressure on it, but it's worth the risk. Especially since, well, here we go, that's Kha'Zix there immediately. Take a step back, show that I have it warded, because I honestly just want him to leave, but then Lee kind of want to go to the fight, so I do lose a bit more pressure here. And it's a really bad position for the lane here, because he can easily just do this, and he can set up the lane as he wants. And of course, there's a fight here, I lose more pressure. And it's just kind of me being indecisive, which is how you lose the lane, basically. That's a really good Thunderlords. I set this up to, I really wanted to get after the poke here, if I'd went in immediately, I could have gotten a passive. And again, if you've seen my set school, you know that if you get the passive, you basically win any trade. If you get a passive, the damage you get from it is incredible. And above all, it scares off the opponents. Something I didn't talk about at the start of this video that I wanted to mention is also that persistency does scare people off. If you deal 70% of someone's HP, they're not going to think about most of the time that you don't have the rest of your spells. They're just going to flee and be scared. Most of the time, depending on the champion, obviously, and the player, of course. But here, again, every time he goes for CS, just go forward and, during his attack animation, force him to either choose between the CS or taking the damage. It's kind of basic aggression play, I suppose, but it's really important in these tank-heavy matchups, where yes, in a drawn-out fight, he would beat me. But here, that's a pretty bad ignite, if it weren't for Lee Sin being here, but he does kind of screw up the entire thing, which, you know, it happens, and I do tilt a little bit. Here's a big mistake I make. If I'd stopped here and turned around to get my E, that would have been a kill. I would have gotten double buffs. I would have won the lane. But I messed up, and I tilt a little bit. I'm sorry, I don't I don't say anything mean to him, I'll just kind of verbally tilt. If I don't flame him, don't worry about it. But from here, you could say that the lane should be over because, well, Maokai gets a free assist, 2 free assists actually, and what was it, 1 or 2? He didn't get any. Huh. Well, he got back pressure in the lane, and above all, I died. I lose a lot of minions, I lose a lot of EXP. Above all, a lot of EXP because he also has TP, and I don't. And I also lost my Ignite and my Flash. So it's looking pretty bad right now. I think I'm just 1 CS behind in terms of farm, but in terms of EXP, not as good, because I did just lose like 2 waves. But it's not over. The biggest mistake you can do at this point is just to tilt, which, you know, that's how you lose any game, no matter if it's lost or won at that point. Because, I mean, 0-3 is not a lost game. We do end up losing this game. I'm not going to show you the entire game, but we do end up losing this game, and it ends up being kind of a bad game, but it's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this laning. Because at this point, the dynamics have changed slightly, in that now he does have more agency in lane because he has a chain vest, which denies basically all of my lethality. In runes, in masteries, and my item, all of it is gone, basically. Because he also has, well, he's sitting at 100 freaking armor right now, so yes, all of it is kind of wasted. But I still have something to play around. Now, I do have to play more safe. We can't just hyper aggro every time, because at this point he is going to have an advantage in fights. But we can play smart, because most of these tanks can't actually properly poke from ranged, including Maokai. He's going to have some hard time with that. So we can still do stuff like this. Now, given he does get his passive quite a bit here, which heals him, as you saw, 57 on top of his base HP regen, which is pretty freaking good. And he probably runs the defensive tree, so even more, he definitely runs the defensive tree with Courage of Colossus, so he heals a lot. But even through that, we can ship down on his HP bit by bit. And with level 6, because he doesn't have HP, he has armor, but he doesn't have HP. He's still very killable right now. People make the mistake of buying too much armor without HP, because armor gives your HP more efficiency, and the annoying thing about him having armor is that his healing that he gets from his passive or his HP regen or all of it is more efficient, because every bit of HP is more difficult to ship down. So yes, it is better, in my opinion, to do the chain vest first, especially versus a lethality champion, but he doesn't get as much efficient HP. Or he doesn't have as much HP to be efficient, rather. His HP does get more efficient, but you get what I mean. So I'm waiting for my Ignite right now, and when I do get my Ignite, now we want to start trading as much as possible, because we want to ship him down quickly. It's not really shipping him down, just poking him down quickly. That was a Q that connected, I think. Can't actually tell from here. And here, again, he's trying to go for auto attacks, but I do feel like every time he does that, still go for pokes. He does mitigate a lot of the damage with his Courage of the Colossus, but the thing is, if we're both at low HP, I win, because I will get my passive every time. So me trading HP with him is absolutely fine. Here again, I'm trying to greed for my passive, and he ends up going straight in. Good thing about Maokai, he's a really big target, meaning, well, easy to kill, easy to hit with Qs. And that's basically what I wanted to talk about in this lane. I don't think there's much else to mention here, except that I do die here. Again. That's how it goes. So at this point, had we not had the bad interaction or bad synergy with the jungler, like I said, I'm not saying the jungler play bad, I had a bad synergy with the jungler, and I had unlucky timings with Kha'Zix and such. I didn't play perfectly, but that was what I wanted to show, that there is a bit of... even when you're this far behind, you do have a lot of agency if you know your strengths and weaknesses. So that's basically what I wanted to mention. If there's anything you want me to add or you have any questions, then do just post in the comments. Aggressive gameplay is basically how to win most games, and I think more players should practice it. I'm not very good at it myself, so it was a very entertaining game to play, but if you get it right, it really just feels great to have that complete control of the lane. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, it's like buttons right there. And if you're new to the channel, well, if you enjoy the content, there's a lot more coming, so make sure to subscribe. I'll see you all next time, okay? Have a good day, and yeah, peace.